I know you, and I know you could really use some good news. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into today's good vegan news. Welcome back to Studio 1F. I have to warn you, some of today's good news stories are so hard-hitting that they're really going to test out my stoic journalism face. Thankfully, this first one isn't one of them, but it's still good news in my opinion. Tattooed Chef returns to US supermarket shelves a year after filing for bankruptcy. Back in December, I made a video about Tattooed Chef's struggles and bankruptcy after seemingly being poised to be an unstoppable force in the freezer aisle. Someone recently commented on that video letting me know that, after flailing around a bit, they seem to have found their footing. And indeed, after that, I found this story in Green Queen. Meatless brand Tattooed Chef is back on retail shelves in the US under its new parent company Planted Ventures 10 months after filing for bankruptcy. The products span 4 meatless but not entirely vegan categories and are available at select Costco stores in the US, with a broader rollout in club and retail stores expected later this year. Planted Ventures is also working on private label offerings. The return of Tattooed Chef reflects our belief that simple food is the best food, with ingredients that are honest and sustainably sourced, said Tattooed Chef founder and executive chef Sarah Galletti. We are reinventing the classics that people already recognize and are excited to eat, and making it easy and accessible for them to do so. Planted Ventures is helmed by founder Sam Galletti, who is Sarah's father. We are and always will be a family business that is all about food, he said. This is a bit confusing because Tattooed Chef was previously under Sam Galletti's company Itella, and now it's under Sam Galletti's company Planted Ventures. It seems like there may have been some restructuring and new investment, although there's a lot to side-eye the company about in terms of how they manage things and past labeling controversies. I'm ultimately happy to see that they're back on store shelves. They say time heals all wounds, and I'm just hoping time will bring me some comfort in the form of Killer Bee pizza. Waiting for it to come back. Getting into the hard hitters, UK ban on live animal exports passed into law. A new ban on exporting live animals came into law Monday, May 20th as the Animal Welfare Livestock Exports Act received royal assent. The legislation delivers on a key manifesto commitment to ban the export of live animals, including cattle, sheep, and pigs, for slaughter and fattening from Great Britain. It is only possible now the UK has left the European Union and will stop animals enduring stress, exhaustion, and injury on long and unnecessary export journeys. While this is certainly good news, here's where things get a little frustrating. The act will ensure that animals are slaughtered domestically in high-welfare UK slaughterhouses, reinforcing our position as a nation of animal lovers and a world leader on animal welfare, boosting the value of British meat and helping to grow the economy. We love our animals, and that's why we're going to slaughter them lovingly here. We love our animals, and that's why their meat is so valuable. We love our animals, and we're grateful to them for helping grow our economy. Chris Sherwood, chief executive of the RSPCA, said, "After more than 50 years of campaigning, we are absolutely thrilled to see that live export of animals has been banned from Great Britain. This means British animals will no longer be sent on grueling journeys abroad for further fattening and slaughter in cramped and poor conditions with little or no access to food or water. As one of the first countries in the world to abolish this practice, this vital step for animal welfare sends an important message globally, and we hope to see other countries follow suit soon." The UK truly has led the way in terms of raising welfare standards for farmed animals, and while of course we would prefer to see a world in which animals aren't slaughtered for human use at all, it's undeniable that this is progress and a historic moment. My eyes are welling up just a little bit, but I'm gonna keep powering through. Stoic, stoic, stoic. On a similar note, Australia to end live export of sheep following decades of campaigning by animal rights activists. The government in Australia has set the date to ban live export of sheep, ending the cruel transport of sheep by sea. A multi-year plan has been implemented, and the exports are set to stop on May 1st, 2028. According to PETA, the move follows decades of work by intrepid investigators, dedicated campaigners, and supporters of PETA entities around the world. The charity added that repeated investigations into Australia's live export industry have found examples of severe animal suffering. Among them are documented cases of animals enduring dehydration, starvation, and illness, and the discomfort and stress of being tossed about on rough seas, trampled by their shipmates, or suffocated in their own feces. However, PETA noted, while it is relieved that there is an end date in sight, it feels the government has no excuse for allowing them to suffer in these horrific conditions for another 4 years. I agree with PETA that this timeline is a bit frustrating. However, Australia is the world's largest exporter of wool and live sheep, so the fact that this ban is even happening is incredibly significant and historic. Back when I wasn't sure what was so inhumane about the wool industry, it was reading about the live export of sheep from Australia, the horrific conditions that they suffer while on board the ships, and the horrific treatment they receive once they arrive to their destination, if they do indeed survive, that instantly convinced me on why I would never support the wool industry. So while this certainly isn't perfect in terms of the timeline it will take to go into effect, I'm going to celebrate this one as very good news. Before we move on, a quick reminder that if you're enjoying this video, to please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. You can also join my Patreon for more content from me, including podcast episodes, extra video content, community forums, and more. Check it out at the link below. Next up, Marc Jacobs ditches exotic animal skins after damning exposés documenting appalling conditions. Just a few good vegan news segments ago, we had a story about Copenhagen Fashion Week banning exotic animal skins, and now Marc Jacobs has confirmed it will stop using exotic animal skins, including crocodile, lizard, ostrich, snake, and others in its collections. Fashion brand Marc Jacobs has joined a long line of luxury design houses that have banned the use of such skins, like Burberry, Chanel, Carolina Herrera, Diane von Furstenberg, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Karl Lagerfeld, Nordstrom, Stella McCartney, Victoria Beckham, and Vivienne Westwood. It comes after vegan charity PETA US shared exposés on the exotic skin industry. According to the organization, its footage documents the appalling conditions that reptiles and other animals used by the fashion industry are forced to endure before they're electroshocked, bludgeoned, or even skinned alive. In a statement, the charity said, "Behind every ostrich or reptile skin handbag was an individual who endured a life of pain and misery and was forced to live in filth before being hacked to bits." Well, when you put it that way, it's still hard for some companies to do anything about. At this point, it's almost feeling like a domino effect or game of musical chairs. It seems that increasingly every fashion house is realizing that they don't want to be the last one standing when the music stops. Well, almost everyone. Your move, guys. And our last story, strutting without the suffering. Nikki Glaser shows off her skin in PETA ad. I normally stay away from celebrity stories, but I was delighted when I saw this today, so I just had to include it. Nikki Glaser is one of my favorite comedians. Not only is she refreshingly honest on a variety of topics, she's also a passionate vegan who never shies away from discussing animal welfare on her platforms. So unlike some other celebrity PETA ads from the past, which have felt a bit inauthentic, this one really feels like a perfect partnership. And I absolutely love the copy, "Never steal someone else's material." It's one of the most clever PETA ads I've seen, and I have to wonder if Nikki is responsible for writing that. Nikki Glaser is having a huge moment right now, having just come off the Tom Brady roast as the undisputed MVP of the night. So this ad coming out in the midst of all that feels like perfect timing, and hopefully will have even more of an impact because of that. And those are all of our stories for today. Let us know what you thought of them in the comments below. Here at Forkable Network, we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Again, for Forkable News, I'm Marielle, and we'll see you again soon.